Welcome to this powerful summary of Success is 80% Mindset, one of the most powerful audiobooks. In the next 45 minutes, you are going to embark on a journey that explores one of the most life-changing truths, that success in every area of life is shaped far more by your mindset than by external circumstances, background, or even raw talent. This audiobook teaches us that the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not luck, not opportunity, and not even intelligence. It is the way they think, believe, and approach life. Before we dive into the teachings, let's begin with a closer look at the author and the background behind this book. About the author. The author of Success is 80% Mindset is a passionate thinker, speaker, and motivator whose work revolves around personal growth, mental transformation, and success psychology. Their mission is simple: to prove that the mind is the greatest weapon we have in shaping our destiny. Drawing on years of study in psychology, philosophy, and business success stories, the author blends ancient wisdom with modern strategies. They emphasize that while skills, resources, and knowledge are important, they only account for about 20% of the equation. The rest, the overwhelming 80%, is rooted in the unseen, in the inner world, in the mindset you bring to every challenge. This insight comes not only from academic study, but from personal experience. The author faced setbacks, doubts, and failures that could have easily destroyed their dreams. But through the power of mental resilience, reprogramming beliefs, and holding on to a vision, they discovered the secret: change your mind, and your life must follow. Background of the book. Why was this book written? The background lies in a simple but troubling observation. Many hard-working, intelligent, and talented people still fail to reach their full potential. They may have skills, they may have opportunities, yet something invisible holds them back. That invisible force is their mindset. The book emerged as a call to awaken people to the reality that without a transformed mindset, no amount of external success will be sustainable. But with the right mindset, even limited resources can be multiplied into incredible achievements. The author wanted to answer questions like, why do some people succeed despite starting with less? Why do others remain stuck despite education or talent? What is the missing ingredient that turns effort into results? And through these reflections came the core thesis: success is 80% mindset and only 20% strategy, skill, and external factors. Part 1. The Power of Mindset. The book begins by defining what mindset truly is. Mindset is not just positive thinking. It is the collection of beliefs, habits of thought, and internal dialogue that guide how you interpret the world. It shapes how you react to challenges, how you recover from failure, and how you see opportunity where others see obstacles. The author distinguishes between two kinds of mindset. The fixed mindset, a way of thinking that believes abilities and circumstances are permanent. People with fixed mindsets believe they are stuck with what they were given. They see failure as proof that they are not capable, and therefore avoid risks. The growth mindset, a way of thinking that embraces change, adaptation, and continuous learning. People with growth mindsets believe skills can be developed, problems can be solved, and every setback contains the seed of a comeback. The author argues that your entire life trajectory is determined by which of these two mindsets dominates your thinking. Part 2. Why Mindset Shapes Destiny. The author explains that life is a mirror of your inner world. Every thought, every belief, every internal conviction eventually manifests in your actions, your habits, and ultimately your results. Think of it this way. Two people can face the exact same challenge. Let's say, a financial crisis. One person sees it as the end of their dreams, gives up, and sinks deeper into despair. The other sees it as an opportunity to grow, to pivot, to reinvent themselves. The external problem is the same, but the outcome is entirely different because of mindset. This is why the author insists that success is not about avoiding problems, but about cultivating the mindset that can rise above them. The key message is this: if you change the way you think, you change the way you act. If you change the way you act, you change the results you create. Part 3. The 80-20 Rule of Success. The title of the book, Success is 80% Mindset, is rooted in the Pareto principle, often called the 80-20 rule. In business, the 80-20 rule tells us that 80% of results often come from 20% of actions. In the same way, the author argues that 80% of success comes from your mindset and only 20% from the strategies, tactics, or tools you use. This does not mean strategy is unimportant. It simply means strategy without the right mindset is useless. A person with the wrong mindset will sabotage even the best plan. Meanwhile, a person with the right mindset can take even a simple, flawed plan and still make it work through persistence, creativity, and belief. The author illustrates this with examples of entrepreneurs who started with nothing, no capital, no connections, no formal education, but who had the mindset of resilience and innovation. Their mindset carried them through failure after failure until they found success. On the other hand, countless examples exist of people with money, education, and privilege who lacked the mindset to persist. They gave up at the first major obstacle. Their 20% was strong, but their 80% was weak, and so they collapsed. Part 4. Reprogramming the Mind. The book emphasizes that mindset is not fixed. It can be reprogrammed. The brain is like soil. Whatever seeds you plant will eventually grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will harvest a life of frustration. But if you plant seeds of belief, courage, and growth, you will harvest success. Reprogramming begins with 3 practices. Awareness of thought patterns. You cannot change what you are unaware of. Begin by noticing your inner dialogue. What do you tell yourself when you face challenges? Do you say, "I can't do this"? Or do you say, "I will find a way"? Replacing limiting beliefs. Once you identify a negative belief, you must consciously replace it with a new one. For example, if your old belief says, "I'm not good with money," replace it with, "I am learning to master money every day." Consistent conditioning. Mindset is not a one-time decision. It is a daily discipline. The author suggests affirmations, visualization, journaling, and surrounding yourself with people who reinforce growth rather than fear. Over time, these small mental shifts create a powerful transformation. Part 5. The Role of Failure in Success. One of the most powerful chapters in the book is dedicated to failure. The author insists that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. The difference between winners and losers is not whether they fail, but how they interpret failure. A fixed mindset sees failure as proof of inadequacy. A growth mindset sees failure as feedback, as a lesson, as a stepping stone. The book recounts stories of inventors, leaders, and entrepreneurs who endured countless failures before achieving breakthrough success. Thomas Edison, for instance, failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each failure was not a defeat, but data, information that guided him closer to the solution. The mindset lesson here is clear. Failure is never final unless you accept it as final. Part 6. Vision and Belief. Another cornerstone of the book is the power of vision. The author explains that people with no vision become slaves to circumstance, but people with vision can shape circumstances. Vision is the mental picture of where you want to go. Belief is the fuel that carries you there. Without vision, you wander. Without belief, you give up. But with both, you can overcome almost anything. The book provides practical exercises for vision building. Write down your ideal life in vivid detail. Speak about your goals in the present tense as if they are already true. Create a vision board with images that remind you daily of what you are working toward. The author warns that many people sabotage themselves by refusing to believe they are worthy of their vision. This is why belief is essential. Part 7. Discipline and Habits. The Silent Builders of Success. The author emphasizes that mindset is not just about positive thoughts or affirmations. It must be anchored in discipline and expressed through habits. Your daily actions are the physical reflection of your mindset. If your mindset is one of growth, courage, and determination, your habits will reflect that in the form of discipline, focus, and consistency. If your mindset is one of fear, doubt, and laziness, your habits will reveal it in procrastination, inconsistency, and distraction. The book explains a powerful truth. Success is not built in a single day, it is built daily. Every choice compounds. Every decision either strengthens your mindset or weakens it. The author introduces the principle of micro-habits, small, repeated actions that may seem insignificant but produce massive results over time. For example, reading 10 pages of a book each day, saving just a small percentage of income consistently, practicing gratitude daily, which rewires your brain to focus on abundance instead of scarcity, exercising a few minutes daily, which builds mental toughness alongside physical strength. The key lesson here is that habits are not about intensity, but consistency. A person who trains their mind to remain disciplined in small areas will eventually succeed in big areas. Part 8. Relationships and Environment. Mindset is deeply influenced by the people and environment around us. The author warns that even the strongest mindset can be poisoned if you surround yourself with negativity. This is why one of the boldest steps toward success is learning to curate your circle. Ask yourself, do the people around me encourage growth or feed doubt? Do they celebrate my dreams or mock them? Do they challenge me to rise higher or pull me down to mediocrity? The book shares a sobering truth. You will eventually become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This is why the author urges readers to intentionally choose environments that reinforce their desired mindset. This might mean joining a mastermind group, listening to uplifting podcasts, attending growth seminars, or even distancing from certain relationships that drain your energy. The right environment acts like fertile soil for your mindset. It nourishes your vision, reinforces your beliefs, and multiplies your growth. Part 9. Wealth and Mindset. One of the most popular sections of the book deals with wealth. The author points out that financial success is less about money itself, and more about the mindset behind money. Many people remain poor not because they lack opportunity, but because they carry a mindset of poverty, fear, and limitation. For example, a person with a scarcity mindset believes, money is hard to get, and if I spend it, I'll lose it forever. A person with an abundance mindset believes, money flows through value creation. If I serve and create, I will always attract more. The author stresses that money responds to value. Those who focus only on money will often chase it endlessly. Those who focus on mindset, creating value, solving problems, and serving people will naturally attract money as a byproduct. Wealth begins in the mind, long before it appears in the bank. Part 10. Fear versus faith. Another powerful theme in the book is the battle between fear and faith. Fear is the greatest enemy of success. It paralyzes, blinds, and imprisons. The tragedy is that fear often masquerades as logic. People will say, I'm just being realistic, when in truth they are simply afraid. The author teaches that fear and faith are two sides of the same coin. They are both beliefs about the unseen. Fear believes in negative outcomes, while faith believes in positive ones. The choice of which one to embrace is a matter of mindset. The book offers a strategy. Act in spite of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward anyway. With each act of courage, your faith grows stronger and your fear weaker. Part 11. Gratitude and Abundance. The author also emphasizes gratitude as a mindset multiplier. Gratitude shifts focus from what is missing to what is present. It rewires the brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Those who live with gratitude attract more blessings because they create a mindset of abundance. The book suggests a simple practice. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you are grateful for. This daily habit not only elevates mood but trains the subconscious to focus on growth, peace, and joy. The mindset shift is this: gratitude turns little into enough and enough into more. Part 12. Action. The bridge between mindset and success. While 80% of success is mindset, the author reminds us that mindset must be expressed through action. The danger of mindset teachings is that some people stop at thinking and never move into doing. They visualize, affirm, and plan, but fail to act. The book warns, mindset without action is fantasy. Mindset with action is destiny. The author challenges readers to become doers of the word, to translate mindset into bold steps daily. Even imperfect action taken consistently will always outperform perfect intentions never acted upon. Closing reflections. The book ends with a stirring conclusion. Success is not reserved for the smartest, the richest, or the most connected. Success belongs to those who master their mindset. Your life today is a reflection of your mindset yesterday, and your life tomorrow will be the reflection of the mindset you choose today. The choice is always yours.